Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast, The Corn Bros. I'm one of your bros, Aaron.
I'm your other bros, Jacob.
And on this special episode, that's not special, we are going to do Anime Part 2 because we've ran out of ideas. Not really, but we just want to talk about anime.
I mean,
we're weebs.
It's been, what, 10 episodes since the last time we talked about anime?
10 weeks since you talked to me. I don't know.
It's been longer than 10 weeks.
It has. We did this back in not May, but probably June,
Something like that.
probably June-ish. So yeah, let's get into it. So now we're gonna do kind of. Well, first let's bring up one thing that we forgot to mention in the first anime when we watched as kids was Transformers.
Specifically Transformers Armada.
Yes, the best of them all.
I mean, depends on who you ask, but if you ask them and they don't say that one, they're wrong.
And they say Michael Bay's Transformer, then you go,
That's not even anime. That's just garbage.
Would you count that as anime?
No. No, I wouldn't.
It's interesting. It's interesting what would come out of Japan, and you go, okay, now it's American. I don't know. But anyways, I don't remember much of that show. I just remember that there was like 3 kids, and they're like, we can't tell nobody that you guys are Transformers.
Also, there's like small robot Transformers, but we're gonna take those ones to school because they're small.
Yeah.
One of them turned into a scooter, I think.
Oh, that's right. And then didn't they connect to?
Yes. One of them was like a tiny jet plane that Optimus Prime could use as a gun. And yeah, because jets and guns are the same thing.
Yeah.
I remember there's one episode where Megatron fuses with a pyramid.
I don't remember any episodes. All I remember is I really liked Jetfire because he had that arc of okay, he's bad. Okay, now he's going good. And then
Jetfire or Starscream?
Whichever one's the evil one.
Because I think Jetfire was evil in the original Transformers, but then in Armada he was just default good.
Okay, maybe it's Starscream then.
Because Starscream started off.
Who's ever the henchman to
Megatron?
Megatron.
That's Starscream.
Okay, Starscream.
Yeah, he was a bad guy, and then he got really upset with Megatron, and
I was like, oh cool, he's coming to the good side, and then he's like, He does that. I don't know who that basketball player is, but that basketball player, every time the ball gets thrown, he slaps it and goes, oh, not in my house.
But yeah, no, he joins the Autobots, and then he's still garbage.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm going back to my evil friends. They respected me.
It's a lot easier making fun of somebody than it is trying to put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is it was the build up to the plant destroyer.
Unicron,
yeah.
The one who's the size of a moon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he was there. I don't remember much about that fight, but he was there.
Yeah, I remember, because that's where it kind of ended. I don't know if it ever got renewed or if it just
No, I think it ended with Unicron, because I think that's how they ended the original series, too.
Yeah, because I don't think then they never came back on or something. It just kind of... Or they went to a whole new series.
Yeah, they replaced it with Energon, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't give a shit about that.
And then they, changed a lot of their designs, and they're like, eh.
Yeah, because Optimus Prime looked stupid, and I was like, Oh, is that when they brought the dinosaurs?
Maybe? I don't remember when the Dinobots got introduced.
Before I forget, is this anime or is this American? The Zoid things.
The Zoids, I believe, is anime.
Okay, that's
another one. That's Japanese.
That's another one that I loved, but it was only on for to me, it was only 10 episodes and it was done.
I tried to rewatch it a few years back.
Is it bad?
Oh, it's bad.
I had the toys. Who's the king lion?
Liger Zero.
Yeah, I had Liger Zero and the blue one.
Yeah, I don't know what the blue one is.
And then I had an elephant one.
I don't know what that one's name is either.
And then you had you had for me you had I don't want to say the worst one, but you had the most boringest one.
I had the T-Rex.
Yeah, it was so tiny, and I was like, I mean, look at Zoidberg.
But he had guns on.
I'm gonna call it Zoidberg because that's all I can think of his name now. I'm just like,
it's Liger Zero.
Yeah, isn't that a wrestler too?
I don't know. You're the wrestling guy.
That's true. I should ask Andrew.
Don't ask Andrew. He'll give you an hour-long speech.
He sent me a message. He's like, all right, it's time to vent. Because, WWE was like, WWE is the most anime of anime.
I mean, they are pretty anime.
They're like, yeah, you can't have a Twitch and you can't have a cameo unless you're using your real name or something like that. So he's like, okay, he's like, time to vent. And so he sent me paragraphs, and I was like, it's not gonna change until Vince McMahon's dead. I mean, that's anything. But anyways,
I thought it was gonna be. It's not gonna change until Vince McMahon reads these. Yeah. Like you've somehow got a direct line.
How funny would it be? How funny would it be if Vince McMahon's like, wow, Alexa Bliss is making thousands of dollars on Cameo, or he thinks it's Cameo, but he signs up for My OnlyFans. Why do people keep requesting my dick? Well, I mean, here it is.
Making a cameo.
And somehow it's still erect. He's a fucking freak of nature. I mean, it probably has muscles on his dick.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right, but let's go back to Transformers.
Yeah, because I'm just imagining him strutting down to the ring.
Could you imagine his dick going like the Transformers do when they transform?
Yeah, I mean,
You'll never think of Transformers the same. You hear Optimus Prime going.
And then it's got an airplane on the end of it that shoots energy blasts.
Okay, that's enough for Transformers. I'm not giving a shit about Transformers.
Okay.
So let's talk about some newer ones that we watched. And specifically, I'll go first. Because I wanted to do this. There's 2 animes. So, okay. I'm just going to throw it out there. I like watching the ones that probably everybody shits on. The one with all the titties. So, I mean, those are my favorite ones because I just find humor in sexualized things. Like, so 2 I'll talk about right now. And I like the first season. And I kind of like the series of... So I like the series of the one, and I like the first season of this other one. So it's the Vampire... you know what I'm talking about? The
Rosario plus Vampire?
Yeah, Rosario plus Vampire. Such a shitty fucking name. Rosario the Vampire... let's call it Rosario the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, good.
And
High School Iron, that's a completely different anime.
And it probably exists too. And High School DxD. So I like the series of High School DxD. You know, it's
until season 4 when you refused to watch it.
I refused. Okay, and I'll get into a reason why I stopped. Why I didn't want to watch season 4. Mainly because Brian kept wanting me to watch it. And and I like the first season of Rosario. So both of them, you know, take place in schools. You know, one in Rosario, the kid gets sent. You know, he actually signs up for Monster High. You know, we're gonna call it Monster High School.
I think that's what it is called. I don't know. It's been like 8 years since I've seen it.
And High School DxD, the kid I think dies or something, and
he gets signed up for Monster High School.
And they're like, "Well, we'll bring you back to life, but you have to be my slave." And so they're oh fuck, I can't think of her name. She's in all of the Atake or something. Like, oh, sign up for Atake and get Rias. Rias? No. Rias
Gremory.
I'm a fucking weeb.
No, you're not. You don't even know these names.
Dude, that's
you are the least weeb.
That's the hardest thing when I'm talking about animated people. Because I don't know any of the fucking names of any of the characters. Like
you are like the least weeb.
I just go, yeah, the main character. Everyone goes, okay. But I'm like,
the one with the titties.
Yeah. But the reason why, okay, so the second season of Rosario, they had like no budget. It was like, we're just gonna full of nipples, you know, just fuck it, you know. I remember because the first season they didn't show any nipples. It was all like kind of like,
convenient fog.
Yeah, no, there was like no fog. There was just nothing.
Oh,
so I was like, okay, that's fine, you know. But then the second season, like, yeah, look at the nipples.
All right, we managed to sneak the first season through the ratings board. Anything's fair game now.
And I don't remember much about High School DxD. All I know is like the kid has no like he's just learning his powers. And this is also with Rosario, where both the main characters are like, you know, and I fucking can't stand this. You know, it's the male has to be the dominant one. You know, he has to be the provider. And you know, and that shit doesn't bother me. But it's when it's like,
but you're so weak.
You have an excuse. That these people have had their powers much longer than you. You're brand new, and especially on Rosaria, and the kid has no powers. He's like, man, I gotta defend the vampire girl who's like the fucking legend that everybody knows. And oh my god, I got my ass kicked. oh, I'm such a letdown. It's like, yeah, you got your ass kicked by actual fucking monsters. I mean, and that's every in both the series. I'm just like, that's why I can't go back to watch High School DxD, because the fucking kid, he was like, man, I got my ass beat again. I'll never be tough. And it's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, you have the excuse. You know, I don't know. It's just,
I mean, on this topic where we're venting about characters just being kind of shitty, even though they should have just accepted their shit.
yeah.
So Brendan had us watch the first 4 episodes of Trinity 7, and there's one exchange that I remember that I will always make fun of this show for. It's the part where this guy has just learned that he's got powers, and everybody else around him's like, yeah, we've got these powers too and whatnot. And he's like, I want to make a gun just like you. And she's like, you can't make a gun. And then it literally just pans back to him, I made a gun. Like, no build-up or anything. It's just, you can't do that. I did it.
I think it works. I think it works in context if the whole show is just like, I don't mean stupid as like negative, but like
if it's a gag thing.
Yeah, like,
but I think they were trying to be serious.
I'm trying to think of like a cartoon like SpongeBob. Like, there's no build up to anything. He can do it, and it's like, you get it. He's like, if that was the show where they're just like, yeah, anything you can do,
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes 20 years to learn how to make a gun. 20 years? Well, I just made one right now. What? Like, if it was something like that, it would make sense. But yeah, to your point, it's just like, there's no build up, and it's just like, yeah, I made
like they're trying to do a serious thing, but like when you just go, well, this guy here can ignore the rules, then it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Like,
and just to be clear, we're not shitting on anime right now. Like, the whole episode is not gonna be shitting on anime. But I think we just picked the right 3 things to put together. It's like, yeah, we'll shit on this, and then
yeah.
Because I got another thing. I got another one that I really love. But go ahead if you got any anime that you.
I've recently started watching Azuki-chan Wants to Hang Out. The fuck. So it's about this guy who goes to college, and one of his juniors is like,
just to be clear, if you can hear the noise in the back, that's our sub pump. We've had a lot of rain, in the past week. 7 inches.
I
I've been
thought that was
told.
just Brendan back there, like making siren noises.
Well, somebody's just flushing the toilet. So, ah!
But anyway, so starts off, this guy is going to college, and he sees this girl from high school. And so, like, the first 5 minutes is just, he's like, oh yeah, this is what I do in college, and it's like each season is just him being by himself. Like, in the spring, he's sitting there sleeping on a bench. In the summer, he's eating lunch alone. And then it goes back to spring, and he's sleeping on the bench again. She's like, oh no, this ain't happening. So she essentially just goes, I'm gonna hang out with this guy regardless of what he thinks. And like, she's just like, oh, you go to movies by yourself? That's so sad. I should come with you. And
and he just goes, that's so sad, you're coming.
He's like, no, I just want to go see a movie by myself. And she's like, no, I'm coming with you regardless. Even if you tell me no, I'm gonna follow you from the shadows.
Don't we all want a woman like that? A woman,
I don't know if I'd want one like that. If just kind of like follows me around.
I don't know. I think I'd be into that. Just like about fucking time.
And then she finds out where he works, and she's like, well, now I gotta give him shit at work too. And then she eventually gets hired there.
Oh, of course.
Because the manager is just like, man, watching these two is great. I should make sure he doesn't quit, so I'll give him a raise. And then like the manager's daughter's also in on this, like, because they've got a weird thing where they're like, we love to watch people. We don't want to get involved, but we just want to watch people. And apparently the interactions between the two of them are funny enough to justify them, like hiring her to work there with him.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, actually. But yeah, no, he's kind of a loner. Everybody calls him like, he looks like a Yakuza thug, I guess, because he's got like a scowl all the time. And so people are afraid of him, except for this girl, and she just constantly messes with him.
Interesting.
Especially with phrasing.
Interesting. There was speaking of thugs, there was a movie, it's called The Silent Voice. And it's a movie I saw at Target one day. And so I'm like, that's interesting, but it's like $20. And it has to be a movie I really want to see if I'm going to pay $20 for it. So I went on YouTube and I was like, well, let's look up trailers for it. And it's about a guy, he looks like a thug. or not thug, but he looks like the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
But they make him the main character, and when he's a kid, he's kind of like a bully, and he kind of picks on this girl who is deaf, and so later on in life, he's like, I was kind of a dick back then, so I'm going to try to amend what I did. And of course, they add this fat kid who looks basically the easiest way I can say. If anybody's watched My Hero Academia, he looks like grape juice or whatever.
Oh God!
But he doesn't act like him, but
thank God.
But he doesn't. Okay, so he acts like him, but not in the pervy way.
Mm.
But yeah. So I haven't finished it. I watched the first half on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this looks interesting. But yeah, it's most animes I watch, they all look generically the same.
Yeah, more or less.
And so when I was watching this movie, I'm like, okay, it's not bad, but it was pretty good from what I've seen. So the one funny part in the movie is he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. And his mom's like, you better not kill yourself. He's like, well, I got this check of money, so I mean, here you go. So when I die, you'll have money to pay for the funeral and just stuff like, I don't know, stuff like that. And she's like, well, just let you know, if you kill yourself, I'm burning this check. And then, so she's cooking while she's talking about this, and it's the funniest fucking thing because she accidentally lights it on fire, and she's like, oh shit! And she's like, well, I guess you can't kill yourself now because we don't have the money. He's like, fuck. But, so that's all I've seen of that. But yeah, another one. Are we gonna do one combined?
I don't think I've watched anything too.
The Devil is a part-timer.
Oh yeah.
Probably what really got me back into anime. It was one. So I remember. I don't know if I watched. Did we watch it before we showed Brennan?
Oh, we watched it at the same time.
Okay, because
so I had watched through the full thing because Josh had been trying to get me to watch it for years, and I finally sat down and watched it, and I'm like, you know what, Brennan will like this.
And then
you were over at the time.
No, I was still living at the house. I think.
Well, you were upstairs at the time, and so yeah, we watched through like the first 8 episodes before he left, and then he went home and finished it up.
Yeah, because I remember we had to drag his ass to watch it, and then he's like, I think we have through 4 episodes, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go home, and then he's like, yeah, I finished watching this, and now and then later on in the years, he started buying the books, the mangas, and he's like, yeah, I fucking love this. I hope there's more of it. It's just like, oh, when you left, you're like, wow, this is a weird anime. I don't know how to feel about this.
But
anyways, it's about the devil, and he gets kicked out of the hell.
No, he in his world, he is being essentially they have gathered all the armies together, and they're just gonna go kill this guy. They're just gonna go kill Satan. And he's like, man, I'm out of magic, time to bail. And he bails to the real world.
And he has no intentions of taking over.
No, well, at the beginning he has the intention to.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's like, okay, so I need to get enough maybe he needs to get enough magic to go home. One of the two. But he essentially he's like, yeah, I need to get enough magic so we can open up a portal back to hell or whatever. And then he ends up working part-time.
Basically like at a McDonald's.
Yes. He ends up working at a McDonald's. And the Satan Slayer who comes after him... Yukimon or something like that? Something, I don't know. She gets a desk job at some, telephone place.
And, the whole time, she's, paranoid. She's like, I know you're fucking doing something. He's like, I'm just walking my dog.
I'm just playing video games.
And then another character shows up, and she's infatuated with the devil, or not with the devil, but with the character, with the guy. And she's like, oh no, he's rotting her brain. He's like, I ain't fucking doing shit to this girl.
She's just a coworker. I just work with her part time.
And then Lucifer comes, and then
he's kind of an asshole, and then he gets punched in the face, and he's like, okay, guess I'm hanging out with you guys again.
And then it just kind of ends.
Yeah, the anime just ends, and then I guess the manga keeps going.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing because I would love to watch more of that. Let's see. I took it. So I started. Let's see. A couple months ago, I started. There was an anime. I think I talked about this on the Corncast. There was an anime called The Rising of the Shield Hero, and I was talking. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy this because it's $40
for part 1.
Yeah, for part 1, which is 12 episodes, and then
another 40 for part 2.
Yeah, so it's basically $80. And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not gonna buy it. And with COVID being around, I'm just like, the fear of missing out, the FOMO of missing out on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll buy it. And I watched it, and I'm like, this is fucking pretty good. It's basically it kind of makes fun. It's real characters from different time periods of Japan. I mean, they're all from the same world, but they're parallel worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So like, maybe Hitler won. I don't know if they brought up Hitler. I think they did bring up Hitler because like, okay, so what happened in 1940? You know, whose side were we on? They're like, oh yeah, Hitler or something. It's a minor joke, or not a joke, but it's a minor thing. So like, okay, so we're all from Earth, but we're all from parallel worlds where different things happened. So, and basically it's a video game in this world, and they basically, because nobody plays the fucking defense character. So these 4 characters, the bow and arrow guy, the swordsman, the mage, I think, and then the shield. You know, and they all just shit on the shield hero. They're like, yeah, fuck you. And it actually starts off dark humor, where a girl, you know, I'm using air quotes, gets raped, but she doesn't get raped. She just uses it to her advantage to say that she got raped, so she can get in higher up in the because she's the king's daughter, which you don't find out till halfway.
Spoilers.
I don't give a shit about. You should know by now, listening to this. I don't give a shit about spoilers. But it, you know, the whole time. It's one of those animes where it's frustrating that there's a bunch of times where the shield hero comes out and goes, hey, we need to work together, and everybody's like, yeah, we need to work together. And then they go,
great idea, sword guy.
no, it doesn't even do that. Then they don't work. Then they go their separate ways again.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And I'm like, you just said that there's no way that you can beat this enemy if you don't work together. And then so it's got kind of bad writing in a sense, but it also towards the end, it kind of ends with like, you know, we really don't need these other 3 heroes. It's more about the shield hero, you know, because the shield hero is basically the OP of the 3. And so I'm waiting for season 2 to come out.
And then I'll drop another $80 on it.
Probably, because I really did enjoy. It's one of those ones where it's when you watch most episodes. I think the episodes are 45 minutes a piece, so it's based an hour instead of being 20 minutes. So it's like, okay, is this episode almost done? You know, and it's not in a bad way, but it's like, damn, this is a long ass episode. It's like, I'm only on episode 2. I'm like, shit, I got 22 more episodes.
I felt like that when I was watching Ultraman.
Is that anime?
It's not animated.
We can't talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. We talked about wrestling, so.
It just felt the same way because Ultraman the series was like it was 5 discs. Each had 5 episodes on it. I'm just sitting there like, man, I've only seen the intro once so far. I've got to see it 4 more times.
Okay, what do you think about? So, I know you don't watch all media, and we'll go back to Ultraman.
Oh no, I'm pretty much done with Ultraman. I'm just telling you, I felt the same way.
But
it's like, man,
what do you think about when things get put on DVD in seasons? Do you think that they should just get rid of the opening? Like you watch it once and it just rolls on?
I feel like what they should do is if they do it as one, like if they do it as a full movie, I guess, like if they just put it all back to back, they should play the intro once and that's it.
Yeah.
And the credits once and that's it. But if they do it like, you can watch this episode and then this episode, like if they do it separately, then yeah, you can put the intro in and whatnot in the credits.
Because that's the thing that fucking annoys me about a lot of these animes that I buy. It's like we're just slapping all the episodes on together. You know, same intro, same credits, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, can we be? I
mean, that'll cut off like. Depending on how many episodes are in it, that's like 2 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
So I mean that saves you a little bit of time.
Yeah. Speaking of so moving on to the next one. Unless you got anything else to say about Ultraman.
Not really.
Okay.
Fuck
Ultraman.
I said my piece on the other podcast.
On the Corncast.
Yeah.
So this anime is called Bento, and I talked about this on Corncast. It's basically similar to Rosaria, not
DxD.
DxD. There's really no sexuality. There's no episode. There's like no nudity or anything like that. But it makes the character weak, but he knows he's weak. He's like, yeah, I got to train to be able to get these bentos. And what bentos are, it's basically the premise of the show is at 8 o'clock or whatever time, these stores put out these meals, and they only put out 6, and they're all half off. And so a bunch of people fight over this food to grab it, and only 6 people can go out and get it. And so he gets recruited by this. He doesn't get recruited, but this girl is like, yeah, I'm pretty good at doing these, and I'll train you. And he's like, okay. And and it's a fun anime. It's basically, it's fun to watch, and the openings kick ass, and that's all I really gotta say. But like I said, they don't make the character. He's like, oh man, I have to be good for her. I have to defend her. And he's like, no, I gotta learn how to train. I gotta practice, and it makes it interesting. The only thing that it was kind of weird, but there was like there was an ancestral thing with his cousin, where his cousin's like, well, remember when we used to play with each other? He's like, and the guy's like, dude, get the fuck off me. And she's like, no, but I miss you. And
oh, good.
But it's pretty funny. Do you got another one or?
We're making a Shenmue anime for some reason.
Maybe he can what's the guy's name?
Ryo?
Shenmue? No, the guy created it.
Oh, Yu Suzuki?
Yeah, maybe he can just get rid of
the games
and just put, because he said he had he's like, yeah, I got like seven games lined up, or it's like, and if anybody knows the joke, not a joke, but like if everybody knows the Shenmue thing, it's like the first 2 were on the Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, whatever.
You cornered one Shenmue on the Genesis.
And basically that's where it ended, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey.
Actually, it ended on the Xbox. That's the only way that Shenmue 2 got localized. It was on the Xbox.
Okay, but anyway, so for some reason people are craving, which is fine, And then he's like, yeah, I got seven more games I want to make. And it's like, but yeah. So hopefully they just put all 7 games just into the anime.
I'm just waiting for the anime to be like Dragon Ball Z levels of filler. Like, it's just long episodes where nothing happens. He just opens drawers or something for an entire episode.
But yeah. I got another one.
Okay.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Another fucking shitty title name that I couldn't remember for the first.
And the guy at Barnes & Noble kept shouting it out so everybody could hear. No, he was shouting.
No, that was a different one. That was.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in the duck?
Yeah, so that one.
Aren't they part of the same series? Am I thinking? No, I'm thinking something else.
Two different.
Yeah.
It's another video game one. Again, the characters are good. That's another one we can talk about. That's another good one where it's a spin-off. The one I watched was a spin-off of the actual show. So I watched Sword of Terria, which follows this other group who takes place. That's why the episodes, to me, there was like weird, because I'm like, okay, I'm missing something here. But I think it takes place between season 1 and season 2 or something like that. That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime is a pretty funny. It's another one. So I never watched One Punch Man, but it's another one of those ones where it's like, yeah, we're gonna make fun of the tropes where slime's supposed to be weak, but for some reason this slime can devour anything and it learns their ability. So he basically becomes overpowered, and it's just like, it's like, hey, the best scene is where he meets this girl. Well, this girl has a demon in her, and finally after years, so what happens is he gets killed and he gets reincarnated as a slime in a different world. I don't know. They don't explain why he gets put in this other world, but it happens.
It's like that one anime where the guy dies unfairly and God's just like, well,
but for some,
wouldn't you like to be reborn somewhere else with a cell phone?
Yeah. So, but for some reason this world keeps taking people from Earth. So there's a guy later on in the episodes that you find, he's like, yeah, the only thing I hate is that I've been watching this, I don't want to keep saying MAGA, and I hate that that term now is.
Just call it a mango and everything would understand.
Manga, and so he's like, yeah, I don't know what happened in this manga, and the guy's like, well, or the slime's like, well, if you give me some paper, I can make you a book. So basically, he made every single book of that manga. He's like, I was like, oh god, I can finish it now. But it's basically just it's but this girl. So for some reason, this girl got summoned by a demon lord or something like that. His story doesn't finish up, so I'm assuming that's gonna be in season 2 that they go back to that character.
Mm-hmm.
But so he summons this girl. She has a demon in him, or she has a demon in her. And the demon finally takes control and comes out. He's a fire demon, and so the demon summoned a fire tornado, and Slime's like, he's either in his slime form or he doesn't got a body yet. So he's in his slime form. He's like, oh my god, there's this fire tornado around me. I'm burning. Oh god, it's hot. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm not burning. It doesn't hurt. And he has this thing in his head that tells him, yeah, you're basically immune to this. He's like, what? And he's like, so I can walk through this fire? And the thing in his head's like, yes. So he walks through the fire, and then he just like, somehow he just devours the demon. And he's like, yep, I can summon fire now. But I'm like, it's a fucking great anime, and it pisses me off that Brendan won't watch it.
That's because it's good.
I'm just like, Brendan, you skip the first episode, skip the second episode, but like, it's just a fucking good one. Another anime I picked up at our local game store, Selector. Let's see, Spread Wixus or something. It's a card game, or it's not a card game, but it basically, it's so weird. It's so dumb too. I watched this when I was kind of not down in my life, but I had a really bad toothache, and I had pain, so I'm just like, I couldn't really focus on it. And the guy at the store, he's like, yeah, this is like one of those ones where like the character cries a lot. And I'm like, oh, that's fine, I can deal with that. Oh my god, the character cry. It's a bunch of high school girls, and they play this card game, and like it's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh in a way, where like, yeah, if you can't back it up or something, I don't know, but it's like, if you can't back it up, if you can't win, you lose partial of your soul. I don't really know what the fuck. I fell asleep through the end part of the first couple of episodes. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, so
I got sucked into the shadow realm. Goodbye.
Another one I have is, and I love these fucking names because they're so terrible. Are you? Let's see. And you thought there's never a girl online. And so this is another one I saw.
It sounds like a Brennan anime.
Oh yeah, Brennan's seen it before I did.
Oh, of course.
But I didn't know that he's seen it. So I was like, oh Brennan, you should watch it. He's like, oh yeah, I already watched that. But basically, they're playing some major Japanese game online.
World of Tanks.
And he goes to school with all these kids. He just doesn't know it, and so he meets he's like, oh, we should all meet in person. And he's like, holy shit, you're that mean girl that's always bullying people or something like that. And then there's this really shy girl, but she's like so like basically it's about this girl who can't differentiate the online world and the real world. So she thinks everything that happens online is real. So like these two characters are married in the game, and she's like, oh, this is my husband, and he's like, I'm not your husband.
Oh man, it's just Yakuza 7 all over again.
But that one wasn't too bad. Let's see. I got American anime, Genlock. And,
the
ones made by Rooster Teeth. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. It starts off slow. Basically the world's gonna end.
Of course.
And I don't really fucking remember much of this. But I just remember I watched it, so it's like, okay, it's not bad. It takes place with a couple characters, and they all gotta learn how to become part of the mechs, and they can't overdo it, otherwise they'll die. If the mech dies, they die, or something like that. I don't know. It was pretty good. I'm just naming off some really quick ones. Sound of Euphonium. I don't know if it's a movie. It's another one. I saw it, a lot of these. If I see them, I just like, okay, I'm just gonna buy them. So this is one I saw at Walmart, and I'm like, I'll just buy it. It's these not girls, but it's this school where they play. You will love this. It's about bands, and they're like, okay, the tuba players and stuff like that, trombone guys over here.
The joke is I played the tuba in middle school.
Yeah. And so basically they're just like, the short story, they're trying to practice because they've never won, or the class before them was really good but they didn't win. So like now it's time to win, and so they get to the end, they end up losing, I think, but they all learn a lesson. They're like, okay, we can all work together.
Oh, the value of friendship.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's see. And I guess the last one that I have. Do you have any more?
We can talk about Promare.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Talk about Promare.
So Promare is basically firefighters versus mutants who can shoot fire out of their hands and burn everything.
It's made by the people who made
Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill, yeah.
It's by Trigger. So it's. At some points, I just want to say, like, the art style is really good, and other times you can kind of just, like, phoning it in.
Yeah.
Like, they literally, like, put stick figures in it at one point.
Yeah, that was towards the end of the movie, too. The
like,
big plot reveal, and it's like, really?
It's like, hey, it's some stick figures. Booga booga, here they go. But, like, the action scenes in that are, like, top-notch. They are very good. And then it does, in regular Trigger fashion, it dials it up to 11 at the end. Anything to say about it? Aside from the one dude on the cover looks like a chick.
Oh yeah.
But it's a dude.
I think I was kind of surprised when we started watching it. I'm like, oh, that's a dude? Oh no, I watched a preview for it, and I'm like, oh, okay, or a trailer for it. I'm like, oh.
I was gonna say, because when I picked it up, you're like, what if I told you that guy was a dude? And I'm like, well, I'd probably believe you.
Dude, there's some fucking fan art for it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I wasn't looking for it, but I saw it. I'm like, okay, I guess.
I'm sure there's a scene between the two of them near the end, and I'm sure it inspired an entire generation. But let's be real. One guy is pretty hot.
Which one do you think's hot?
The one who's on fire.
Is that the blue hair guy?
No. The blue hair guy's the firefighter.
See, I think the firefighter's hot. I think he's the hot.
I'm saying it literally. Like, the one dude is on fire.
Oh, well, now you know. But who do you think is hot?
Probably the blue guy. If I had to date one of them, it'd be the blue hair guy.
Is that firefighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one who's shirtless.
The one who's like, I gotta emphasize everything.
Yes. The one where you can see his muscles glisten in the water.
No, I thought that was a pretty good anime. It kind of like the ending just doesn't land. It's like if they would just stuck to what I don't know. The whole battle in the ship, like towards the end, I was like, that's kind of just.
I mean, it looked nice, but like it didn't need to happen.
I didn't like the other thing I didn't like.
And then the plot twist at the end is like, oh, that's dumb.
I love spoilers for this one because I actually do like this one. I like that the guy who the king, not the king,
the mayor. I think he's the mayor.
He basically. I just love this scene. He basically causes a fire because he can't control himself, and then the kid comes running out. And he's like, well, "Fuck! I guess I gotta pick him up." And everyone's like, "Oh my god, you saved him!" He's like, "No, I didn't say it. Fuck it. God damn it!" He's like, "I fucking regret it. I should let you burn."
Yeah, and then at the end of the thing, he's just like, "I've hated you ever since I've met you. You are the fucking worst.
You keep coming near me.
You keep not dying.
God damn it." Yeah, that was
And then they made out.
And then you go on OnlyFans and you see what the fuck they're doing.
Alright, so anyway.
I guess we can talk about your American anime. You know what that one is?
Is it Ruby?
Yes, sir!
Yeah.
So I bought all 6 seasons for a low price of $20, I think it was, on Amazon.
Yeah.
I love reading descriptions. Everybody's like, "Yeah, man, I got 2 season 4. It's like, what the fuck?" And it's like, okay, so I was kind of like hesitant to buy it because I'm like, because you know, Rooster Teeth isn't. I mean, it's a big chain, but it's like, you know, they're still, you know,
yeah.
I still think of them as just YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
But so I bought it, and then I didn't end up. I got busy doing other shit, and you're like, "Hey, Aaron, yeah, Ruby, can I borrow it?"
I mean, that is pretty
Winky,
spot
winky.
on.
No, but seriously, I was like, "Yeah, fucking, you can watch it. I don't care." So you watched Ruby, and
Yeah, it was very long, and there were a lot of things that didn't need to happen, but they did anyway. It's another one of those where the world has kind of come to an end, and now there's a new start of the world, and like it gets really like backstory heavy near like season 4, and it's just like, you can stop that anytime now.
what I like is that people are like, "You can't call this anime," you know, because it's not from Japan, and then like one of like big figureheads of anime is like, "Yeah, I call it fucking anime."
Yeah, it's close enough.
So it's like, so I'll go one. So I do have more, like a lot more.
Save that for part 3.
Yeah, we'll save it for part 3. So I'll end on. Let me see. Let's see. Which one? So I've talked about. No, I haven't talked about Sally and the girl and the milk cow.
I don't think so.
I don't know. So I'll save the rest of these, but I know I talked about Pentimia Inverted.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just say with another movie. It's by G Kids. Satellite Girl and the Milk Cow.
Bonus points to people who can guess what this one's about.
Basically, it's so fucking weird. I just remember seeing it on PSN sale, and I was like, okay, I have to own it because basically, the satellite turns into a girl, or this toilet paper turns this satellite into I don't know.
No, okay, so the satellite has reached the end of its like life expectancy. Essentially, like they stopped needing it,
and for some reason,
it fell from space.
Yeah, for some reason, she signaled out one person
who was singing a song, and like this guy was like really sad because the girl he wanted to hang out with didn't want to hang out with him or something like that. I don't know. He wouldn't tell her his feelings, so he was sad. And then she heard the song, and she was also sad. And then she fell out of space. Turned into a girl, and then there was a giant furnace for some reason. I was like...
Well, the furnace captures humans that turn into animals, I think.
I don't remember why they get turned into animals, aside from, like, they have regrets.
I think it's if their heart gets broken. Like, really broken, like...
And then you had a guy who had a plunger, and he was trying to track down the animals.
Yeah.
And he could also jump through windows, and, not, like, jump through them, but, like, use them as, like, portals.
Well, he could teleport through anything.
Was it anything? I thought it was like windows and glass.
Oh, you might be right. You're right. I was thinking in my head that he popped through a wall, but yeah, he popped through a glass.
Anyway, the one guy who was singing the song turns into a cow. The satellite turns into a girl. They meet, and then It's very strange. She has like 1,000 arms that she daily loses.
Yeah.
And there's a toilet paper wizard
who's like, just fuck already.
I think he was. I think what his story is he was hanging out in a tree, and then the tree got chopped down and thrown into a wood chipper, and then it became toilet paper.
Yeah. If anybody's ever seen a Studio Ghibli movie, there's a plot, but it gets like I don't know if it's one person who makes the decisions or if it's like one group that makes decisions, but they're like, no, we really like this scene, but the scene doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Oh, but we really like this scene.
Yeah, there's a part where the guy's playing the piano, and the piano just... So they're moving it in a truck, and he climbs into the truck, starts playing, and they're like, you can't play that piano, and then he flies off with it. Like, playing the piano made it, like, levitate into the sky.
And it's just like, you're watching, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
There's a lot of, like, man, this would be great if I was taking drugs. I'm sure. But, yeah, so the guy has to wear a human costume over top of his cowness.
Well, the thing is, if you're gonna look this movie up, don't look up the trailer for it, because basically all the funny parts of the movie are in that trailer.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Because I know I watched it, I'm like, oh, because it really looked funny. I was like, this, like, of all the Studio Ghibli movies, I'm like, okay, this is the one to watch. And I just remember watching the movie, I'm like, okay, that funny part's in the trailer. Okay, that funny part. Oh, so all the funny parts are in the trailer.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But, yeah. There's one I want to talk about, but I'll save it because I'll probably end up forgetting about it anyway. But, we'll call it an episode unless you got anything else you want.
I got nothing.
Alrighty. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Or like our Spitfire of anime, we're just like, oh, we watch this one. I can't believe it. Okay, 46 minutes. And it's like,
I can believe it. You've got an entire shelf full of anime.
That's true, and I still got more. I'm kind of slowing down though.
I haven't watched any anime in a while, aside from the one I talked about earlier.
If anybody's got any good places to watch it, because I think Netflix is starting to pick up some good ones. I don't have Netflix. Oh, did you see that Netflix is, I think, operating a free? Like, there's a free section where you don't really have to pay for anything.
Neat.
I'm like, maybe I'll give that a shot, because,
But you still need to put your credit card information so they can charge you no more.
Got him!
We'll never see it coming.
So, alright guys, well I hope you guys enjoyed. I guess tune back for the next episode.
See ya.